Most of us spend our entire lives searching for happiness outside of ourselves. We look for it in achievements, in money, in other people, in those fleeting moments that feel good but never, ever last. But the greatest lesson I have ever learned in my life is this: happiness doesn't start around you. It starts within you. Your mind is the key. And once you learn how to hold that key, you unlock a life that feels lighter, clearer, and more in your control than you ever thought possible. Today, I want to share a story and a few truths that completely changed how I see everything. There was a period in my life, not too long ago, when everything felt fundamentally wrong. Nothing was going the way I wanted it to. Every single morning I would wake up with this same heavy feeling in my chest, a sense of dread about the day ahead. I kept telling myself, if I can just fix this one problem, if I can just get this promotion, if I can just resolve this conflict, then I'll finally be happy. I was constantly trying to rearrange the pieces of my external world, believing that a perfect life would bring me perfect peace. But no matter what I changed, no matter what I achieved or fixed, that heavy feeling stayed. It was like a shadow that followed me everywhere. The temporary relief of solving a problem would fade, and the familiar sense of unease would creep back in. It wasn't until an older mentor, someone I deeply respected, looked at me one day and said something that stopped me in my tracks. He said, "You're trying to rearrange the entire world, but you haven't even cleaned the room inside your own mind." At first, I didn't get it. What did my mind have to do with my problems? My problems were real. They were out there in the world. But the more I thought about his words, the more they started to sink in. I began to realize that I wasn't suffering from my circumstances. I was suffering from my thoughts about them. The story I was telling myself about my life was one of struggle, of lack, of constant battles. My mind was a place of chaos, and that chaos was coloring my entire experience of reality. That single moment, that simple sentence, was the beginning of a profound transformation for me. Think about it for a moment. Two people can live through the exact same event, but experience completely different realities. One person gets laid off from their job and sees it as a devastating failure, the end of their career. Another person in the same situation sees it as an unexpected opportunity, a chance to finally pursue a passion they had put on hold. One person gets stuck in traffic and feels their blood pressure rise with anger and frustration. Another person in the same traffic jam turns up the music, enjoys a podcast, and sees it as a few moments of forced rest. The event is the same. The difference is the mind. One sees a challenge, another sees an opportunity. One feels defeated, another feels determined. This is proof that life isn't just happening to you. Life is happening through you. It's filtered by your thoughts, your beliefs, and your expectations. When your mind is chaotic, filled with worry and negativity, even the simplest problems can feel overwhelming and insurmountable. A small critique feels like a personal attack. A minor setback feels like a catastrophe. But when your mind is calm and centered, even difficult moments feel manageable. You see challenges not as threats, but as puzzles to be solved. You see criticism not as an indictment of your worth, but as data for growth. Happiness, true and lasting happiness, begins the very moment you decide to take responsibility for the world that you are building inside your own head. Here's a truth that most people never truly grasp. Your mind is talking to you all day long. From the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, there is a constant inner monologue, and that voice is either building you up, or it is breaking you down. There is no neutral ground. Every negative thought, every worry, every self-criticism, chips away at your peace of mind. Every positive thought, every moment of self-compassion, every flicker of hope, strengthens your resilience. Now, this is not about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything is perfect when it isn't. It's not about ignoring pain or suppressing difficult emotions. It's much more powerful than that. It's about consciously choosing what you want to grow in the garden of your mind. If you constantly water the weeds of fear and anxiety, they will grow and choke out everything else. If you feed your insecurities, they will take over your life and dictate your choices. But if you choose to water the seeds of gratitude, of confidence, of hope, your entire world begins to shift. Your perspective changes, your energy changes, the way you show up in the world changes. Happiness doesn't come from ignoring the storms of life. It comes from training your mind to be the unshakable anchor that holds you steady through them. It comes from learning to rise above the noise. So how do you actually do this? How do you build a mind that supports your happiness instead of sabotaging it? It begins with small, consistent practices. It begins with simple moments. First, learn to pause before reacting. When something frustrating happens, instead of immediately lashing out or spiraling into negativity, just take one deep breath. That tiny gap between stimulus and response is where your power lies. A calm mind always creates better choices. Second, start to challenge your negative thoughts. Your mind will offer you all sorts of harsh, critical, and fearful ideas, but you don't have to believe them. Not every thought that pops into your head is true. When a thought like, "I'm not good enough," appears, you can gently question it. Ask yourself, is that really true? What evidence do I have that I am capable? You are the gatekeeper of your mind, and you don't have to let every harsh thought stay. Third, practice gratitude intentionally. Don't just wait for it to happen. Create it. Every morning before you even get out of bed, think of one simple thing you're thankful for. The warmth of your blanket, the sound of birds outside, the fact that you have another day. Writing it down is even more powerful. This simple act trains your brain to scan for the positive instead of defaulting to the negative. Next, use your breath. Your breath is a remote control for your nervous system. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow and fast. By consciously taking slow, deep breaths, you send a signal to your body and mind that it's safe to relax. This is something you can do anywhere, anytime. And finally, spend more time alone, in silence. We live in a world of constant noise and distraction, but it's in the quiet moments that we can truly hear ourselves. Silence reveals the answers that noise can't. These habits, these small practices, aren't dramatic or glamorous. They are simple, quiet, and yet profoundly powerful. They are the tools you use to slowly and steadily rewire your mind, turning it from a source of turmoil into a place you feel at home in. The biggest secret, the most profound discovery I've made on this journey, is this. You do not need a perfect life to feel happy. You just need a peaceful mind. A mind that isn't constantly running from the future in anxiety or clinging to the past in regret. A mind that knows how to sit in the present moment and appreciate what is right here, right now, because this moment is the only one you ever truly have. Happiness isn't a final destination you arrive at one day. It's a skill. It's a practice. It is a daily moment-to-moment choice, and that choice always starts and ends with you. So today I invite you to make a small choice. Choose one negative thought to let go of. Choose one moment to simply pause and breathe. Choose one reason, however small, to be grateful. Because when you learn to shape your mind, you learn to shape your life. And that is the greatest and most profound freedom you will ever experience. Your mind is the key. It's been in your pocket this whole time. Turn it, and open the door to the happiness that has been waiting for you all along. Thank you for listening.